Hey everybody, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're here for the first time. My name is Heather. We are a fun, fabulous sewing channel, and today we are doing something brand new. Well, as of today, depending on when you're watching this, we're doing a new, fast, fun date night bag with the coolest handle construction. Yes, you heard that right. We are doing a handle today. And if you've been here before, you know I'm not the handle girl. I am the quick and easy webbing kind of girl. But here we are, making a handle. These pattern designers keep getting me to make handles. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. It's magic. Anyway, so we're making this perfect date night bag from Petal Sewing Patterns. You guys, I have featured Petal Sewing Patterns on the channel before, and they're fantastic the way they come together. And this bag is no different. Are you ready? You ready to see it? Today we're doing the Ellana bag. Yeah, look at her. I mean, like, such a cool construction. You guys, I love bags that have no gussets but still have shape to them. And this bag delivers. And look at this handle. Twisted, and we used 2 different kinds of vinyl to do it, and these really cool connectors that I've never used before. I'm going to show you guys how to use them and where to get them from so that you can make a handle just like this. So this is a very simple bag. It just has a slip pocket inside. Okay, that's where we put our bag tag. So it's a fast sew, it's fun, it's gonna come together super quick. We also do a zip end for the first time using metal, which I'm really excited about as well. So we do a few firsts on here. We do a drop-in sewing method, which is not typically something that I've shown you on the channel before either. So we do have some skill builders in here. I would say that this bag is confident beginner, only because of the way that we put in the lining and sew it. I think it takes a little bit of understanding like where your materials are in your machine, and so I would say confident beginner can definitely do this bag. The dimensions, 6¼ inches in height and 13½ inches wide with a 4-inch depth. So it's got a ton of space, and like I said, it's like the perfect, I'm gonna zip it back up for us. It's the perfect little date night bag. Like out on the town, you wanna make a statement. Here you are. Okay, here you are in your cute bag. All right, so let's head on over. If I don't say this again, the pattern and of course any materials that I can link will be linked in the description. So just make sure underneath this video there's like words, and then there's like a ... or like a more. Just click that and it'll expand out to have everything that is available to you, including the link to the pattern, which you're going to want to buy because you need to make this bag with the best handle I've ever seen. Look at it. I'm so proud of it. All right, let's head on over to the machine. All right, you guys, so we are at the machine, which is a Juki TL2010Q. We're using Tex 35 weight thread in the top and the bobbin. We're using our tank foot. Numbers on the side are KT141 in case you're looking for it. We have a Microtex 9014 needle in, and I think that's it. We're going to just go over our materials here quickly before we get into our sewing. We are going to use glue today, and this is my favorite. I use it whenever we have to use glue, so we will be using this. We're also using, new to me, connectors. So these are cord cap connectors. I will link these. I just purchased them for this pattern. So we're going to use these today. I'm actually really excited about it. And we're making handles today. You guys know how I feel about handles. Not great, but I'm excited about these ones. This is our interior material here. I'm not going to show you piece by piece, but I will tell you there is not a lot of pieces, so it's not a huge deal. Our interior material today is a waterproof canvas, and we're using a piece of our exterior for pocket top. This waterproof canvas was from Oh So Pretty Custom Fabric, who recently merged with a new site. So I actually won't be linking this because I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but that's where I got that from. So we'll set our interior aside for now. We're going to put our bag tag on the inside of this bag too. Since we have a purple one that sort of matches with our interior, and I don't really have a white one that matches with what we're doing on the exterior, we're going to put it in the inside of the bag. And these are custom printed bag tags from Heartwood and Hide Co. And then, okay, so we'll just get a few of these things out of the way here. Our zipper tape, number 5 zipper by the yard, and because we found silver strap connectors, we're going with silver, and we need 1 zipper pull for that. I will link these items as well. We're for the first time ever also, we're gonna try these zip ends from wawak. I got some, they happen to be in silver, so it's perfect, and we're already gonna be using our screwdriver today. So I thought we'd give these a try. They're not necessary, but I'm excited to try them out. We have our strap connector pieces and our D-rings that we're going to use today. These are just, who knows where these came from. They've been in my pile of things for quite some time. Okay, and then our main exterior, and you guys, I put the back panel together already, but we're gonna make the front panel exactly the same way that we made this one. So if you're not missing anything except for the couple of minutes it took me to make this. But this is that white faux croc from Fabric Wholesale Direct. You guys, if you have not gone to get this yet, seriously, go do it. I need it in all the colors, I think. I'm sure I'll do something with all the colors here soon because it sews up really nicely and it comes with so much material. Okay, so that's what we're using for our exterior. I'm gonna set this to the side for now too because we've already put this piece together. And for our front, we have more of this white faux alligator, and we're taking not a custom, but our top piece is going to be, this is from a really like years ago order from Oh So Pretty Custom Fabric. It's vinyl, and this will be our top accent piece on the front. Okay, so we're gonna set those things to the side because that's where we will go next. And I have already put together one of our handles, but we're gonna be putting together 2. I put together one just to make sure I sort of understood what we were doing. And I also didn't have cotton cord, but I do have a ton of paracord sort of hanging out left over from when my son was making paracord bracelets a long time ago. So I figured we would give that a try. So that's what we're gonna do here first, is make our other handle. We're gonna fully complete our handle construction before we move on to the bag. So I'm excited about that. And we're doubling up our paracord because it's not as wide as the cotton cord that is suggested in the pattern. But I just wanted to be able to show you that you didn't have to buy new things. You can use what you have, and you also don't have to put any cordage in at all. You could do flat straps and they're still gonna twist. I have seen other people testing this bag do that. So it's still gonna work out for you. Don't stress. Like, don't be like, oh my gosh, I have to buy so many things. You totally don't. I'm just making a center mark. I could measure it, but I don't want to. On our material here. So I'm just kind of creasing and then drawing right on that crease. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna apply double-sided tape here to hold our cordage in place. And we're not sewing over this double-sided tape at all, so I'm not worried about it interfering with our machine or anything like that. Okay. Let's grab our double-sided tape. And we're just gonna go right down our center line with it. Okay. And then we'll peel it. Peel the backing off, revealing that double-sided tape, and then we're going to take our cordage and we're just going to place it right there in the center on that double-sided tape, and it will stick. Okay, like so. There we go, you guys. We're good. And then we're going to take a 1/2 inch up from each side. And because our machine is our machine, we're not going to use double-sided tape or glue or anything here. We're just going to fold up a 1/2 inch, which is basically right almost to the cordage, but not. We're going to do that on both sides. We're going to clip both sides, and then we're going to incorporate our clips together and stitch down our handle. So I'm going to keep clipping, and then we'll come back so we can incorporate together and stitch. All right, so now what we're going to do is just fold our two sides together so that the edges are touching each other. And that's going to give us our strap. And our cordage is right there in the middle where we want it. Nowhere near double-sided tape. Guys, I have like PTSD about double-sided tape wrecking my stitches. Can't get over it. Cannot. All right. And it has like just enough of that rolled handle look. See here, you can see, and that's fine. There's no right or wrong way to do this handle, and there's honestly no right or wrong way to do anything in sewing. I really believe that you can go ahead and do things the way that you see fit, and if you have a different way, like, dude, go for it. And then we're just going to stitch down the open edges. And we are back stitching at the beginning and the end. And the pattern doesn't tell you to use like 2 different materials necessarily for the handle. I just think it's going to look really cool when we twist it, that it has 2 separate materials. Okay. All right, I'm going to grab just our handle connectors here, I guess is what we're calling them. And our screwdriver. All right, so I'm going to have to do some of this off camera because I need to be able to like be right in front of it, but I'm going to like walk you through it. So we're putting them on top of each other, and I'm setting them up so that they're opposite. I think that that's the best route to go. And we're gonna have to like jam these guys in there. Okay, so we're gonna put some glue in here, but also we're gonna work these in and as far down as we can get them. We're gonna kind of like twisty. We want them to be in there. Okay, see how you can see the material, right? And that's what we're gonna screw into, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're going to twist your handles like so, and see how it's cool that it's different, right? You're gonna twist, and then you're gonna put your other end in exactly the same way. So you can see we need to make our twist a little more even here, but you can see we're gonna end up with our other side pretty much the same. So I'm gonna take these out, I'm gonna put some glue in here, and then I'll screw in one side, do our twist, so cute, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and put them in here the same way. So the only thing you're really missing is me actually putting the screws in and the glue, but this is how you make the handle, and it is so cool. So I'm gonna do that off camera, like I said, so that I can have it right in front of me. I really want this to come out really nice, so I wanna make sure I do it very well. So I'm gonna do that, and then when we come back, we'll put together our front panel. All right, I'm gonna tell you that handle that we just completed and this next part is probably gonna be the most difficult part of the entire pattern, okay? So don't stress, it's pretty simple overall. All right, I have our two front pieces and our top accent piece. Now, we're not using stabilizer because we're using vinyl and waterproof canvas. So I went ahead, and we're also not using double-sided tape. So I went ahead and I marked the line per the pattern as if there was interfacing on here, and folded up the edge, and we just have it clipped for now. We're gonna work something out. I promise. All right, so we're gonna put our two bottom pieces of our front right sides together. Okay, and we'll stitch. And we are following the seam allowances in the pattern, so just make sure that you pay attention to those. That noise that you hear like when I'm starting sewing, that's my tank foot sort of reaching for material. All right, we're gonna top stitch this, but before we do, we're actually gonna go ahead and just reduce some bulk here. Not worried about the bulk on the bottom, but sort of creating that reduction is going to make it so that when we sew on our top accent piece, it's going to fit nicer. So we're just going to butterfly these because we're going to top stitch down both sides, and so we want each side seam to go behind its own panel. And we'll top stitch with 1/8 of an inch, and this is exactly how we put together our back panels as well. So this is why I went ahead and sort of pre-did those, because they're the same. All right, there we go. Now I'm gonna also do something a little different here. Again, because we're not using that double-sided tape, I'm gonna actually go ahead and I'm gonna draw the 3/8 inch line all the way across, so that I have a mark basically for myself, since I'm gonna have to kind of do this as we go. So it can be done if your machine is struggling like mine does almost on the constant. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna draw a 3/8 inch line sort of all the way across our material here, and then we'll use that line as a guide when we stitch. So we're not gonna attach anything, we're just gonna stitch it right on. All right, so obviously this is not my recommendation or the ideal, but if you are like me and your machine like actually really struggles, this is what we want to do. Okay, so I have this line, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to stitch this on right onto that line. So I'm just going to leave sort of everything as is, and I'm going to just continue to move things as we go to ensure that we are on track on the line. And oh my gosh, this looks so cute. All right, let's get going. Again, this is not ideal, but it is possible. So here I am showing you it is possible. And we're just stitching at 1/8 of an inch here, you guys. Back stitching like always, and we're going to take our time, really make sure we stay sort of where we want to be. I'm in full concentration mode here. Why is she not talking? Oh, because I'm horrified. I'm gonna mess up this pretty bag because of double-sided tape, or the lack thereof. Well, we did it, ish. We're a little wider, but that's okay. All right, so cute. So we'll just cut off our excess. Looks perfect, you guys. We followed our line. I don't know how we ended up with more than we needed. That's okay. All right, next thing we're gonna do is make our darts, and we're gonna start from the bottom, and this is gonna have you taper your seam allowance, so definitely make sure you do that. Again, back stitching as always, and we'll go ahead and taper. And then you're going to trim your seam allowance down. And the same thing on the other dart here, you guys. Here we go. All right, now let's just take a little look-see at our look at how cute. Yes. All right, we're gonna grab our zipper tape and our zipper pull and get that ready to go. All right, I grabbed our back exterior also. It's time for us to work on the zipper. So we've drawn some lines on here and we're gonna use this as our fold. We're making a 90-degree angle in one side. And so drawing those lines just ensures that you have the same measurement on both sides. And these are not metal zipper teeth. If they were, we would not be sewing over them. And this is kind of just to hold it in place for now. And you just want those ends to kind of match. And we're just basting it on like so. All right. That easy, you guys. This next step is going to tell us to use double-sided tape as well, but we're not going to. So we're going to go ahead and sort of measure separately. So basically we want 11 inches of our zip. So they don't fray, you know. We want 11 inches of our zip to be attached. Okay, so our center should be exactly where we where we marked, right? Where we sewed our pieces together. And so I'm just gonna grab our ruler here so that we can measure 11 inches in total. So we're gonna go 5.5 both directions from that center. Okay, like so. And I'll show you guys in case you couldn't see it. I just made the marks on here, and I just did that because, like I said, we're not going to use double-sided tape to attach our zip, and I just want to make sure that we sort of get this exactly where we want it. All right, I'm going to do the same marks on the front. All right, we also marked 11 inches on our zip, so we should be good to go. We're gonna go ahead and pull it apart. We're gonna work with the front side first. And so we want that 90-degree angle to be to the left-hand side of our front panel, and that will be opening to, close to the left, open to the right, which is what we're looking for. So we have the wrong side. We wanna take this side that doesn't have the zip teeth, okay? Our flat side, and we're going to line that up right at that first mark that we made. And you see how our marks here line up with each other? That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna baste this on. From fold to our mark. All right, so this is what you're working with here. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing to the back. And for the back, remember, you're gonna want your zip tape to sort of be mirrored so that both of your 90-degree ends end up on the right side. So when you're looking at your front and your back the right way, you're gonna start your end of your zipper on the left-hand side, and then you will have your 90-degree angle on what looks like the opposite side, and it is the opposite side as they're laying flat. Okay, and that matches. So see, when they're laying flat, they're opposite, but when they're together, remember this is gonna be the other way, they're gonna match up, so make sure that you do this correctly. All right, you guys, our zip is on. The instructions are going to tell you that you should put your zipper pull on to make sure that you didn't mess anything up. But we're not going to do that because I know that we didn't mess anything up. We were meticulous, so we're going to go ahead and put these right sides together, and you can see in here we're matching, and we're going to clip along all of our edges around our entire exterior. All right, so once we're all clipped, we're gonna go ahead and stitch together. Of course, here we wanna make sure that our zips match. Here, I'm just making sure our top zippers match up. That's key. Looks like these ones match up just fine, so I'm not sure what happened there, but we're gonna go with it with our zippers matching here. Follow the seam allowance. And just make sure that your zip is out of the way here. Just gonna make sure that we got everything. We didn't skip any stitches. Obviously we don't want that. I'm gonna go over this section just to be safe here. It doesn't look like we skipped any, but just want to be sure. You can never be too sure, guys. Better safe than sorry, right? Yeah, okay, I like the way that that looks. All right, we're gonna trim down our seam allowance. You can use peeking shears here if you want. This will just help your bag lay nicer in the end. Just about half of what you created. Don't go wild here. It's not a big deal if you don't get half. All right. We're gonna grab our D-ring connectors next. We can turn our bag so that it's right side out. Is this not the cutest thing, you guys? Oh, so cute. All right, so we've got our D-rings and our D-ring connectors, and basically we're just gonna sew down one side and then down the other. So these are quite small. And then down the other. And you just don't really want to overlap. You don't want to add too much bulk here. So just butt it right up next to the other one. So that's kind of like what the outside is going to look like. All right, we'll do the same thing for the other one. All right, you guys, so we were attaching, I was going to attach one strap, but it just like wildly ate up the vinyl because of the placement. And so we went ahead and just used webbing, which will match the inside of our bag and sort of tie everything together. Obviously, if you can, you want to use what you made. If you can't, pivot, right? Okay, and we just overhung these just a little bit, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. And this is just a base. We'll sew these on for real when we add our interior, okay? So that's gonna be it for our exterior for the time being. Still a cutie, still looks good. It will incorporate the inside of our bag sort of into the outside. I think that's totally fine. Give it some pop of color. Although maybe I have something. I'm gonna check. We might change this. I'm gonna grab our interior material now. All right, you guys, so we have our lining. We did switch out the connectors, by the way. You'll see them though later. And again, instead of double-sided tape, we're just using clips here, and we fold it over our slip pocket. And then we'll go ahead and match up our edges here. Just kind of clip everything together. We also added our bag tag to to the center of our slip pocket. This is probably the easiest way to make a slip pocket, hands down, no question. And a favorite of mine. So this is definitely a nice quick sew. You could add a zip pocket if you want. And then we're just going to take our facing which should be a little bigger than you need. We're going to clip this on. Centered. Okay, and then we're just gonna sew our facing on, which will join our two panels as well. There we go. Slip pocket made. See how easy that is, you guys? It's so easy. We're gonna go ahead and trim off our extra. And then we're going to find the center, and our lining panels are exactly the same, so it doesn't matter which one you grab. And I'm just going to crease. I'm also going to snip while we're here so we have it. So I can see our crease. I don't know if you can. We're going to come in and measure per the pattern. And we're going to use our marker here. And there's our center. And that's where we want to line up our panel. And we're going to sew down all three sides except for the top that we just sewed. All right, so that's kind of where we want our pocket to be. Right there in the center. Bring our pocket up. You can use tape here if you want. You could also use a rivet. And like I said, we're just going to go down all the sides except for the one that we just put together. And here I'm just going to make sure that we are still lined up at the top. And your slip pocket does get the most wear at the top, so nice back stitching will help for sure. Looks like we had a little bit of a skip stitch down here, so we're just going to go back over that to make sure it's down pretty good. So easy fix. And look at that, you guys. Look how easy our slip pocket was. See how fast that was? All right, so we're gonna go ahead now and put together the inside of our bag just as we put together the outside of our bag. We'll sew our darts. And the other one. And then we'll sew our darts on the other side and we'll stitch together our interior, you guys, just the same way as the exterior. So I'm not going to show you. I will come back once it is all stitched together. And I'll grab my other lining panel here so you can see it. But like I said, it's the same. Okay, so we're gonna dart it and then we'll stitch together around the outsides like we did for the exterior. All right, we're on the final step, you guys. We're putting our bag together. So we have sewn our interior, okay? We've also made marks along the top. And basically what we're doing here is we're folding down to that line that we made. And the instructions are going to have you using double-sided tape, obviously, like we've been doing. We're not going to do that. So I'm just going to clip it, and it'll be fine because we're going to clip it into our exterior anyways. All right, so I'm going to go around and clip this whole thing. And then we will also go ahead and clip our exterior at the same time. And we'll drop our lining in. All right, so we're all clipped over and we went with army green that matched the flowers a little bit. I want the back to have the slip pocket. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in. Now this is a scary part. If you've never done a drop in with a zipper before, it definitely is not the easiest thing to do. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is just clip everything together. Yeah, I'm gonna clip everything together. And then we will top stitch around the exterior of the full bag. All right, you guys, so we are clipped in. Our interior and our exterior are incorporated together in our clips. And if this method scares you, as much as it scares me, you can always do like a traditional sew-in, so where you put the interior outside and you sew around, and then again, we're just gonna take our time. One of the things, I don't have a cylinder arm, and my base doesn't come off, so I can't sew from the exterior, and that's kind of where it scares me a little bit. So we have to sew from the inside. So it's a little, it can be tricky. You just want to try to make sure you have everything all lined up ahead of time. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera view and we're just going to go for it, see what happens. And we did sort of a little Y with our connector here to separate some of that bulk, because you do have the seam of the interior as well as the seam of the exterior and then your connector, and so it can be a little tricky there. So that's just one of my little tips and tricks. If you're having trouble with bulk, you can go ahead and just sort of Y out your connector. You could also attach it afterwards with rivets if you wanted. So there's a few different options if you're struggling or you know your machine is going to have a hard time. So we're just going to start on a straight section of the back, and like I said, we're just going to go for it, see what happens. This is one where you want to take your time and just move along. And we just kind of move our bag as we go, so we're flattening out what's in front of us. And we just want to be mindful of the edges of our zipper. We definitely don't want to accidentally sew those, so let's make sure we pull those up. That would have been so sad, you guys. So obviously here we're getting to a bit of a bulkier bit. Just keep everything out of the way. Take your time here. Patience is going to be key in some aspects of this. Taking your time now is going to be better in the long run for sure. I'm just kind of removing a few more clips than we usually do because our the clips sort of bent down our zip tape, and we just want to make sure that it stays kind of out and up. More than halfway there, you guys. This is the scariest part, especially when you can't see it. I get it. But something tells me it's going to be super worth it in the end. And we're using white thread, so it doesn't coordinate necessarily on the inside, but it does perfectly on the outside. So if something doesn't match, you'll never know. And we're coming up now to where that 90-degree angle is on our zipper, and so that's going to be zipper teeth, sort of all that good stuff. So again, patience here. Make sure that that stays out of the way. coming back up to where we started here, moving and grooving. All right. We're just going to take a look at our bag and then we will do our zipper end. All right, we did it. Looks good. I am gonna we'll take a look at the finished bag all together over at the finish table. We're just gonna finish up this zipper. So I cut off some of that like straggly stuff and we're just gonna melt down the ends a little. And I've seen people do these before, so that's what we're going off of here. We're gonna put a little glue in here too. Same glue that we used before. We had a little dried glue on here. That was my fault. So we're just gonna pop a little bit of glue down in there. And you want to put your cap back on. That's why we had dried glue. Oops. Okay. And then we're going to take, and we're just going to fold the fabric pieces of our zipper sort of underneath. And then stick everything in there. Like so. Okay. And then we'll grab our screw. How cute is this, you guys? I've never used a zip end like this. I'm sure other people watching have, and you're like, duh. I always just sew like a zipper end on. These are adorable. Okay, we're gonna take our little screwdriver. Maybe I'll invest in one of those magnetic screwdrivers here soon, if we're gonna keep screwing things in. Okay, I'm gonna screw the screw in by myself so that I can pull it close to my body. But yeah, so that's what our end will look like. And we do have glue in there, so confident it'll be good to go. All right, so let's head on over to the finish table, attach our awesome strap, you guys, and take a look. All right, you guys, we screwed in our zip end. See that? Can I see that? It's just like, it's so hard to do screw in things on the camera because it's like away from me and I need it to be right in front of me. But if it's right in front of me, then you're looking at nothing. So it's difficult, but you guys got the idea of how to do that. So if you've never done it, these came from wawak. I think I need more because they were so easy. How come I've never done them before? Why did no one tell me? All right, well, so let's take one final look at our Ellana bag here, you guys. So, oh, we gotta push out that side. What are we doing here? Why didn't you tell me it was not pushed out? What's going on here? I gotta put her down, you guys. Just trying to take a look. Gotta push out our sides. I got way too much stuff in front of me. Oh, and we got stuck in our zip. All right, hang on, you guys. There we go. All right, now our sides are pushed out. Oh, that was, well, all right. So our zipper is open. Like I said, we've got the inside slip pocket in the back. You could, if you wanted to, if you're gonna make this more of like a daily wear bag, you could put a slip pocket in the front and do a zip pocket in the back. I think that would look really cute too. I would suggest if you're gonna do a daily wear bag that you do side connectors that are reinforced a little bit more than these ones are. This is really meant to be like a fun date night bag. This side is driving me nuts. What's going on? There we go. Okay, there we go. This is really meant to be like a fun date night bag, so it's not meant to hold a lot of things. If you are meaning to have a lot of items in it, I would reinforce the side anchors a little more, put them down a little deeper, You could even just like sort of insert them when you're putting together the exterior and the interior, and then you would have like a really solid, you would know exactly how far to put them up and all of those things. So there are options for you to make this more of a daily use bag instead of a date night bag. But she's so cute. I just want to say thank you to Petal Sewing Patterns for loving my videos and for asking me to do tutorials on them. It means so much to me when you guys do that. Sometimes I can't believe that I'm here and doing this, and you guys make it all so worth it. So thank you, and thank you to everybody who watches and has such nice things to say. You guys mean the world to me. I know we've never met, but I feel like I know you and you know me, and that's kind of magical. So thank you. You guys grab the pattern. You're gonna love it. It's such a fun, quick, easy sew with such a cool result. I hope you have a great rest of your day today, and I will see you soon.